Good morning, everybody. Am I audible? Vishal? Okay. So we'll start today's webinar. As the title says, habits of highly effective real estate agents. So we have listed some of the habits which a real estate agent should develop over the period of time, so that can make them effective real estate agents in terms of servicing their customers, earning more commission, get more reputations. So we'll see one by one all these habits. So we are going to explore these 7 habits of the highly effective real estate agents practice in their day-to-day life. So the habit number 1 is obviously understand the real estate contracts and supporting documents, and it is stunningly obvious because an effective real estate agent should understand the real estate contracts and all the documents that surround and support it. We have in Gujarat or anywhere we are working in Mumbai, we have standardized purchase and sale document that are pretty much the lifeblood of a real estate transaction. You nearly almost every day we come across so many agents which says there are fundamental misunderstanding in them to understand these contracts and documents and what these documents should include. So agents really need to understand every single line of the real estate sales contract. There are critical timelines in the document that must be followed to protect your client, be they buyer or seller. So home buyers and sellers, they should review the standard contract and other documents before they make or consider an offer on a home. So to ask questions is more important. The documents are drawn up by legal types and are often worded in ways only those people can manage. Good agents should be able to explain every line of the contract in plain English. You need to understand these documents very well. And if you cannot explain them well, you know what I mean to say, it's really a problem for you. Because you cannot satisfy your client, you cannot earn money in terms of brokerage. So he will leave you and go to another agent who has really more understanding of these real estate contracts and documents. So this was habit number 1. Habit number 2 is patience. So patience is a virtue. Real estate agents need patience. Patience in dealing with other agents, patience in dealing with lenders, patience in dealing with title companies, with banks, patience with showing apartments to your clients, patience with even your clients. So let's be honest, some of you client types are not the easiest people to work with. So the real estate sales process is long and tiring and not for the faint of heart. Patience is required to navigate real estate sales transaction. The patient real estate agent, one that can brush aside insignificant things and zero in with laser focus on the crisis of the moment, is the agent that closes those transactions that can slip away from the less patient. So it is obvious that if you are more patient, your client stays with you for a longer period of time, then the person, the agent who is less patient. So patience is important. So we have discussed two habits: real estate contract and documents understanding, and patience. The third one is understanding the real estate market. So it is obvious that if you are into real estate, then you need to understand the market. So we are always focusing on this thing, that local knowledge of the real estate market is very important in helping the home seller set a price. So because if you do not know your market, you cannot set a price for a property to be sold. And a home buyer submit an offer, and you cannot submit an offer for home buyer unless you have a thorough knowledge of local real estate market. So local knowledge is important for helping a home buyer find a perfect home. Many real estate buyers and sellers rely on an agent who has local knowledge. So local knowledge doesn't always mean memorizing the number of homes listed for sale and the average sales price, etc. It means understanding the schools, shopping, medical facilities, and anything else a potential buyer may need to know in order to make educated decision on where to buy. And for sellers, understanding the real estate market is critical in being able to properly prepare and price a home for sale. So unless you provide proper local knowledge to your sellers and buyers, you cannot set a price, a proper price to sell a home and to buy a home. Understanding your client is the fourth habit we are going to discuss. So now we all know that every individual is different thanks to the human genome. So you need to understand and be able to extract when necessary what your client's needs, wants and desires are. See, needs, wants and desires are all different things. So what is their motivation for buying or selling? You need to understand. What do they have to have in a home versus what would be nice is very crucial to understand. So you and they do not have to go through thousands of potential homes trying to find the right one. So you need to understand your client's needs, your client wants and your client's desire very specifically. So ask people what they most need out of the real estate agent, and I'll bet significant of number of people will tell you, I want my agent to understand my needs and requirements. And that usually comes after the next skill, that is, I want my agent to communicate with me. So our next effective habit is communication skills. So most of what happens in real estate transaction, if you really boil it down to the root, is the communication. Communication between buyer and seller agent, communication between agent and lender, and especially communication from agent to client is the key. Great communication skills are rarely generic. It requires study and practice. We are not saying here that you have to be skilled orator on the level of Mr. Narendra Modi, but it is not just speaking skills that are required. Though it helps you if you do not bumble and stumble and sound like a buffoon. But communication involves speaking, writing and even listening skills. So you must be able to communicate effectively. That means losing the acronyms and not speaking in real estate terms that people outside the real estate space may not understand. So timeliness of communication is also critical. So timeliness of communication is very critical. If you communicate after the time goes, it is of no value, it is of zero value. So sometimes, even if there is no change in the transaction, reaching out to your client and letting them know that is just as important and talking to them when a big matter is at hand. And yes, always answer your emails and phone calls. So this covers the communication skills, and we come to the next skill, that is the technological skills. So here we are not saying that you have to understand how to write computer programs, etc. But in 2015, it is important for real estate agents to have at least some fundamental technical skills that go beyond just knowing which way to face the document in the fax machine. So we have seen agents that cannot upload properties on iConnect, those who are not checking their emails regularly, those who are not knowing several fundamental technological things which helps them in their day-to-day work. So you better learn technological skills which enhance your real estate business. So none of this stuff is really all the different to grasp. You can talk to us for any technological problem you might come across. We have sent an email to everyone that we are going to have a technological day once or twice in a month where you can send us your technological problem you come across in your day-to-day real estate business, and if you can help, we'll call you personally or you'll solve it over via email. So send us your problems and we'll try to solve it as soon as possible. So teach yourself some basic technical skills. Go to Google, you know it's a website. Go to YouTube, go to SlideShare, search the things you require, and you will find a lot of materials. And if at all we can help you, send us your technological queries and we'll be happy to help you. And now we come to our last slide of the day, that is be likable. Don't keep smiling, because it is said numerous times that people also pick a real estate agent. See, it's important. People also pick a real estate agent because they like them. Perhaps that is oversimplification, and maybe it seems odd to say that this is one of the habit of highly effective real estate agent. But the bottom line is this: real estate sales is not rocket science. It doesn't take years of formal education and training to be a good real estate agent. What separates any given agent from another is a razor thin margin. There are only so many ways to complete a real estate contract. Marketing skill are important in selling a home, but the greatest marketer on the planet cannot sell an overpriced home or a home in a bad condition, right? So even if you are a greatest marketer, you cannot sell an overpriced home or a home in a bad condition. It is not sellable unless it has factored into the price. Or if a home is in a bad condition and price has factored in that it might sell. So put agent X next to agent Y and you will be hard pressed to be able to quantify why one is superior to the other. So many times agent selection by home buyer or seller boils down to whether or not they like you. Yes, you. So you do not have to be a yes man and agree with every word your client utters, nor do you have to tell them everything they want to hear. But just be honest, brutally honest. While the truth may not be likable, your clients will ultimately like you for being honest. So be yourself, be true, be real, and that's likable. Leave the fake smarmy sales guy at home or locked in a trunk somewhere. So if you are a fake sales guy, no one likes them. So these were our 7 habits of effective agent. There can be more, but we have boiled down to this. So I will go through again. Understanding the real estate contract and supporting document is your effective habit number 1. Habit number 2, you have to have patience. You have to understanding the real estate market well. You have to understand your client well. You should be focusing on communication skills. You have to get more technological skills so you get your work faster. And last not but the least, be likable. So thank you for attending today's seminar. Please let us know how it was and send us your topics also so that we can take up in future trainings. Thank you very much.